What's going on, guys? Victor here, and today we got a really epic video. We got Brookie, we got Elliot London, the owner and founder of Bait Strips, which you guys are going to hear a lot about in this video because all of these fish were caught on Elliot's lure that he created. You cannot ask for a better day offshore. You have wahoo, tuna, dolphin, bonita, everything. So I can't talk anymore. You guys want to watch some fishing? You came here to watch a fishing video. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so first thing we're doing, Elliot's firing out the long bait. Always put out the long bait first, that way you keep your baits staggered and they won't get tangled. Oh yeah. The long planer out and then now the short planer. So that way you got one really down deep, short, because you got to remember you have really long leaders, so you do not want them to get tangled. That's why you send one way back and one really close to the boat. And then he's got a little squid daisy chain. That'll be right on top. It'll be skipping there. Gives your whole spread a nice presentation, and you can catch everything on it: tuna, dolphin, or wahoo. Alright guys, this is Elliot's bait strip on top of the water with the sea witch. We were trolling. I was literally picking up the rod just to check out the reel. 2 seconds later, starts screaming drag. And this fish got some weight to it. So, nobody knows what it is.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, but
Nobody knows.
You know when you hook a fish and you can feel it has shoulders, just like brute shoulders? This is what this feels like. When we're out here and we're trolling, we always have the boating gear. And these two rods are still out because you never know, you could still hook up while you have this fish on.
Okay.
It's a wahoo! Hell yeah!
No way!
On the top line! Hey! On the bait strips!
Look at that!
Hell yeah, Elliot! I literally, what did I ask you today, bro? I said, how many do you get on the top one? He goes, about 3. This is the 4th one now. I said, nice job!
Woohoo!
Hey, the best part is, look at this. So,
Hold on.
what is that? That's the bait strips. You guys are gonna hear us talk a lot about the bait strip today, but this is when you gotta get the money shots when they're all lit up. These are some of the most beautiful fish. Look at all those stripes on them. Blue. This is why they call them zebras. South Florida striper for you. That's what we got it on. This is a sea witch, and then this is the bait strip. This is what Elliot created. It mimics a little bait fish or a real bonita strip, but this is what he uses. And you guys see the proof in the pudding, it works. I'll have it linked below for sure. And then after we're done fishing, we're gonna go through the whole rigging process and I'll show you guys exactly the spread. But we're gonna get this South Florida striper on ice right now.
That's it.
Wahoo on!
Smoking it.
We got Brookie on. This fish smoked it at 180 feet of water, probably ripped off, I don't know, 50 feet of line probably. So, and this is on the far planer, and the most important thing to do, so you guys will see, we're not fishing wire. We have fluorocarbon leaders, and wahoo have teeth, so obviously it can cut you off real easy. So you constantly have to keep the boat in gear and keep them tracking towards you, because if you put any slack in the line, they have a really good chance of cutting you off or spitting the hook. So that's why the boat's always in gear when you're trolling flares. Oh, stud, dude. Oh, yeah. Another blackfin. Yeah, everything's coming in pairs. 2 wahoo, 2 tunas. Nice. Are you on there?
Yeah.
You are? Oh, a 3rd tuna. Look at that. Don't even have time to put the wahoo in the cooler and 2 more tunas.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got another fish on the top. On the squid chain. Nothing, we haven't had a bite in a while. And Elliot's gonna keep it. He's got a couple friends that'll turn it into swordfish baits or strips, whatever it may be. And bonita are definitely scarce this time of year, so people really appreciate them when you give it to them. Mahi on, guys. Jumping like crazy out there. Looks like a gaffer.
Elliot's way ahead of you. Look at that color.
Not bad at all, bro. And a 12-0 single mustad hook. This was on top too. So check it out, guys. 12-0 mustad hook, and then this is Elliot's bait strip. It fell off as it got in the boat, but this is the way he has it rigged. This is the medium size, like I said, it'll be linked below. And absolutely crushing it out here. This dolphin changed size like 12 times as it came in. First we thought it was little, then big, but solid little gaffer. Beautiful fish. Look at that. He's got purple in him right now, blue,
Hold them this way.
green, purple, blue, green, yellow, gold. All different kinds of colors. Very good day out here. So, big thank you to Elliot and his dad for taking Brookie and I out. Elliot's voice is like completely gone, so that's why you guys didn't hear him talk a lot in this video, but we did really good. And it's all thanks to Elliot and the bait strips and his dad, who's right there. So we're gonna go ahead and fillet these fish up, and like I said, as promised, we're gonna go through the whole rigging process. If you guys don't want to watch that, you can fast forward. I'll have a timestamp up here or something, but let's get to it. We like to fish 60-pound fluorocarbon leader. This is what's called a sea witch. This is one I tied myself. It's basically a bunch of nylon hairs, and then people get crazy fancy with them. You put mylar in there, all sorts of different color combinations. You see this one has blue mylar, this is neon green, pink, all depending on water clarity and all sorts of other factors, but basically you can just experiment with these. You take your leader, you put it through the head of your sea witch, and then most guys will fish a squid skirt, and then this is optional as well. This is just another piece of mylar, and you can only imagine it probably looks like a disco ball down there. And you can do the mylar on top of the squid skirt or underneath it. I put it underneath the squid skirt. Now there's 2 hooks that I like to fish. They're both these mustads. They're 3407 SS, and we like the 7 or 80 if you're gonna double them, and then anything from a 10 and up if you're going to fish them as a single hook. Now the cool thing about mustad and bait strips is you guys can save 15% on bait strips products using my code Landshark. I talked to Elliot. We set that code up for you guys to pass on the savings, and then also for those of you guys who don't know, Mustad is a big sponsor for 2020, and they hooked it up big time with a 20% off discount for you guys if you use code Landshark. Well, both will be linked below, and Mustad literally has every hook you could imagine. Okay, so here is what it looks like without the bait strip. Real strip, fake strip, whatever you're gonna put on, this is what it looks like. I line up to see where my top hook would be and my bottom hook would be. I always want to make sure everything is nice and streamlined and goes straight down the middle. Okay, and so there's what it looks like. You want to make sure it's nice and streamlined, and then this little strip, the tail will wiggle a lot under there, and as you guys see just in the garage, this thing throws off some serious shine and color, and I can only imagine why fish eat it as well as they do. So that's how you rig the double one, and just like that. And as you guys see, that's how you rig the single hook, and this tail is just going to be flapping out there in the current. It's fillet time, one of my favorite parts of the video. We got the 6-inch Dexter, and we got a beautiful Wahoo, really stiff and cold, iced him down properly, so he should be easy to fillet. So we start over here, feel where the head meat ends. We're gonna make our first cut going around the head, around this pec fin right here, down, just like so. Okay, and then we're gonna take the tip of our knife and we're just gonna outline this fish. Just real superficially and try to get it as close to the spine as possible. And this is just gonna give us something to work off of. These fish are just pure muscle, and they use that long body of theirs to really just speed ambush their prey. Okay, we're gonna make a cut right here by the tail. Now, what we're gonna do is, I wanna find the spine of the fish. So I can feel the spine, make sure I'm not just running through meat. Now we're gonna go all the way to the backbone. And I think the less cuts you do with a fish like this, the better. And I'll be honest, I have not filleted a lot of Wahoo in my day, but I think we're doing pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is flip him around. Since he is a little bit bigger, and I don't like to fold the meat over itself, what we're gonna do is join my cut on this side now. So we'll come over here. Find the spine again. All the way to the backbone. Okay, now we got both sides basically flayed out to the backbone, which is the bone that runs along the middle. I'm gonna try something I don't usually do, and we're just gonna lift up, go along the length of the fish. All the way. Now we should be able to slide our big Wahoo slab, and take a look at that. I'd say that's a pretty dang good job, and you got one giant Wahoo slab. And the reason I like to do it like this, and I think this is my preferred way to fillet them next time, is because if you try to fold fish like Wahoo over, Wahoo has really firm meat, but at the same time it's kind of delicate. So the more you lift and turn and the more cuts you do, you can really tend to tear it apart. But as you guys see, this is just one really nice slab of Wahoo. So if you've never filleted one before, that was very easy to do. Start on this side, do the other side, meet at the backbone, and then go up from the tail along the backbone. And so all this waste, which isn't really waste as you guys see, we're gonna just shave away. This is all near the bones. We're gonna actually save this for Brooke's grandma for crab trap bait. That's the belly right there, which you don't eat anyway. All right, guys, check it out. Wahoo all filleted out. Very happy with my fillet job. And the cool thing about being a fisherman and looking inside your fish is looking inside the fish's stomach. So let's see what this guy had for his last few meals. No way.
Whoa. What is
That is a filefish, isn't it?
No.
Are you sure?
That
Look
is
at
not a filefish.
it. Yeah. Look at how small the mouth is, Brooke.
Dad, come look.
You don't think so?
No.
Very big eyeball. It
It's
almost,
got like a weird beak.
it was a big something. Very digested. Comment below what your best guess at what this fish is. Well, rather than try to skin this thing as one long piece, I'm just gonna do it into sections, which is much easier because wahoo have really thin skin and you can very easily get through the other side of the skin. And another thing I'm gonna do is remove the bloodline. So you go on one side of the bloodline, all the way down to the skin, and the other side of the bloodline. Start at the tail end, line up our fillet with the fillet table, and we just work our way down. Flush with the skin. Nice long strides. And that's how you do it. You leave a tiny little bit of meat on the skin, which is the red stuff anyway. And there you go. Beautiful wahoo. And you take good care of it. This is some of the best fish for sushi especially. This is a really high dollar value fish. In sushi joints it'll be called ono. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. O-N-O. And I think it's Hawaiian for sweet fish or good fish. We are gonna make some really elaborate sushi dishes with this, so I'll see you guys in the kitchen. Jumping right into it. Tonight we got wahoo and tuna from the trip with Elliot and Brooke prepared two different ways. We eat so much fish that we're always trying to come up with different ways, and a lot of times we try to take dishes like Kung Pao chicken and recreate them into wahoo, which was what I'm doing tonight. So I cut up wahoo into little diced up cubes like this. When you're making a stir fry or something, you need a fish that's gonna stay together well. You need a firm fish. You need a fish that's not gonna flake easily, and I think wahoo is something that's perfect to do with it. It's only 2-3 days old, super firm. I'm gonna marinate it in a little bit of soy sauce. We're gonna do about a teaspoon of soy sauce. Okay, a little bit more than a teaspoon of soy sauce. Some rice vinegar. A little bit of oil. This is sunflower oil, which I used to season my wok recently. Some sugar. And now for our dry spices, we're gonna do garlic powder, salt, black pepper. Fish falls apart really easily. To try to combat that, I'm gonna use cornstarch to really toughen it up and kind of make it almost like a little chicken nugget, like a little fish nugget almost. So we're gonna add some cornstarch. Okay, and I'm gonna mix it with my hands really delicately. Because like I said, fish is not the most firm of proteins, so you wanna be very gentle with this. This is a little wahoo log. So this is what you would use to sear your fish. You want something that's in a square or triangle shape, that's relatively thick, not too thin. That way you can make those nice slices against the grain of the fish. And what we're gonna do is coat it in a mixture of black and white sesame seeds. Are you gonna say it again?
No.
I'm ready. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
Tuna, diced up. This is the blackfin tuna we caught with Elliot on the same day. And we're gonna slice that up and make a little platter, top it with the tuna, but to kind of bring it all together and marinate our tuna, what we're gonna do is have some ponzu, which is like a citrusy soy flavor type liquid. Ponzu, a little bit of sriracha, not too much because Brooke is a baby when it comes to heat, a dash of sesame,
A dash.
a dash. Hoisin sauce. This is a very interesting flavor, but I like it, and it's gonna thicken up our marinade.
Not to be confused with poison.
I came home from Publix and I said, Brooke, I got hoisin sauce. She goes, hoisin sauce? I like it. Okay, that is not the right cap. This is. Sweeten it up a little bit. I think mango goes really good with fish, and especially sushi, sashimi type dishes. You see it in a lot of poke bowls. So I have a little bit of mango nectar. This little bottle right here is the homemade eel sauce. If you guys have been watching the videos, you know that this is incredibly easy to make. It's mirin, sugar, and soy sauce. We make it all the time for our sushi nights. This bottle has literally lasted us for so long. And eel sauce you can make for incredibly cheap rather than buy it at the store, and it's 10 times better than when you buy it at the store. So we're gonna add a little bit of homemade eel sauce and then some fresh scallion. You know what? Brooke says we waste our sesame seeds, waste no more. We're gonna add some sesame in there as well. All comes together really well, so we're gonna give it a little mix. And I wanted to mix this before I added it to the fish. We're gonna add, I don't know, 1, 2, 2.5 spoonfuls to this tuna. Mix it up, and you guys are gonna see that in about 10-15 minutes this tuna is gonna be glistening, take on a brighter, more red color, and just overall look better. For our sauce, chicken stock. I'm completely eyeballing everything. Well, that was like a little bit more than a 1/4 cup. Rice vinegar. Teaspoon of mirin, which is sweet cooking wine. Teaspoon? Did I hit on the money? This is how I do recipes. I look up like 50 different recipes and I try to combine them and I think which one would kind of come out the best. But I get the gist of everything and then I build upon it. And I think that's how you learn to grow in the kitchen, because sometimes you screw up, sometimes you really screw up, but that's how you learn, because you know you added too much salt or too much hoisin or too much mirin or...
Too much lemon.
Yeah, I have done that before. Now, soy sauce. Poison. Add the poison, Vic. Whoop. Now, we add some sriracha for some heat. Sesame oil, a dash. This is cornstarch mixed with cold water. At least a tablespoon of cornstarch. I don't really know how much. Okay, now we give it a good mix. Some sugar. We don't need a lot of oil. It's not gonna cook for very long, just the very outside. A little sunflower oil for the higher smoke point. And some sesame oil for flavor. Each side is gonna cook for about 30 seconds. All right, guys. So took the wahoo off the heat, and now when I cut it, try to cut it super delicately. But if you cook it too much, like I did, you want to just sear the outside. If you start to cook too much on the inside, your fish will fall apart as you cut it. You know, a lot of people put it in the freezer, which we've done before, but we're on a time crunch. So the colder you get your fish, the easier it will cut. Kind of just like when you're filleting it. A properly iced fish is way easier to clean than a warm fish. But at the end of the day, it all tastes the same. Okay, so we're gonna make our little wahoo sashimi, well, wahoo seared platter. Now this is the tuna that we have marinating in the fridge. I'm just gonna spoon it on top of that. How good does that look? Fish on top of fish. I promise you, if you added up how much fish was on this platter right here, that'd be a $50 plate at any sushi place. The ponzu sauce we made earlier, I'm just gonna pour it on top. Finish off with some fresh scallion. I've been cooking a lot on this grill recently. This is a woodwind pellet grill, and on the side they have a propane attachment. Usually I got the cast iron grate on there, but I took it off. That way we don't stink up the house. I got the wok with the oil, and this grill is seriously badass. I'll have it linked below. And we got the hot sunflower oil in there. Now we're gonna add our fish and fry it up. And this is not gonna take long at all. Cornstarch is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. Making our fish nice and firm. You guys don't understand. I was literally out here for like, what, 4 or 5 hours. I got this fry pan, a carbon steel fry pan, and then I got another wok, and I was literally out here seasoning them like 8 or 10 times till I finally got it right. And let me tell you, this is the most non-stick pan I've ever used so far. And so far, they're staying together pretty well, aren't they? Mm-hmm. That was my biggest worry with the stir fry. Anytime you're stir frying fish, like Brick did one the other day, you worry about it falling apart. Okay, so these guys gotta be done. We're gonna take them off of the heat. So I added a little bit more oil to our skillet. Now this is a mixture of scallions, red peppers, yellow peppers, onion, and I believe that's it. Practice, practice, practice. That's another thing I was doing in the backyard today. Flipping peanuts and pretzels.
There's nothing on the ground, so I'd say that's good job.
Thank you, Brooke. We're gonna add some garlic and ginger, and this will burn very fast if we let it, so not gonna be on there very long, just until we start smelling it. This is probably a good time to add our peanuts as well. Okay, now we add our sauce. I ended up adding a little bit more water to the sauce because the cornstarch, I think I added way too much and it was really thick and goopy. Okay, now we're gonna add our fish back in. Add our fish back in for the last minute. Get all those flavors together. Okay, here's the finished product. Wahoo Kung Pao. Might be the first ever on YouTube. No, it's just me and you. I hope you're hungry. And that's no rice. Brooke and I said we're not doing rice. That is a lot of food. Plus we have the sashimi in the fridge, the seared tuna, or seared wahoo. Okay, let's see. First ever Wahoo Kung Pao, or Kung Pao Wahoo.
Wow.
Yeah?
That is so good.
Yeah?
Mmm. Tastes like I'm at P.F. Chang's.
First ever Wahoo Kung Pao Wahoo, however you want to call it.
Were you filming my first bite?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We were. This is the second reaction. Mmm, mmm, mmm. Mmm. Holy smokes.
We opted for no rice, but I think it would be so good with rice.
Oh my gosh, the sauce with the rice?
Mm.
I tell you what,
We have
guys.
so much food.
You guys want to come over for dinner? We literally have enough for at least 3-4 more people.
Mm-hmm. I don't even want to talk.
Check this out. You made stir fry the other day. I made stir fry today. I don't see a lot of fish stir fry recipes on YouTube at all. But I think this is a thing. Like, people need to start doing this.
I don't even want to eat this. Like, this is just so good.
So good. Chicken, beef, shrimp, they all kind of stay together. Fish falls apart, but if cornstarch is like my new best friend. I love cornstarch so much. Cornstarch just does wonders. This is so incredibly good. It is, I think it's one of my favorite things I ever made.
It's really good.
So many levels of flavor. Salty, sweet, sour, garlic, ginger, fragrant. It's not dried out at all. It's so tender too. The wahoo.
Not dried out at all.
That is a rich bite. Wahoo topped with tuna. It doesn't get better than that. Mmm.
Like you said earlier, we try to make things taste like chicken.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't taste like chicken.
No.
It doesn't have the texture of chicken whatsoever. It is so tender. You know, chicken doesn't just like fall apart in your mouth. You know, like this is so nice and moist, and the flavors of everything, you like hit it perfect. So good.
Thanks, babe. We have quite the journey ahead of us with all this mountain of food. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.